Yep, happy Monday to you. Okay.
How's the weather down there? Well, I guess they said it was going to be extra wet.
It's rain. It rained yesterday, on and off all day. Today it was when I got up. I just heard a little while ago it's raining some, so we're getting lots of rain. We need it. It's been dry, so.
Okay.
Morning, Mike.
Morning, Cliff.
Any thoughts on the World Cup?
Yeah. I mean, I saw it. The game was good. Spain was definitely better. Argentina did their best with being a man down for most of the second half of the game. So with the red card. So, you're asking about rain. I just hear it coming down now.
Well, yep. You need that rain.
Yep. Spain was definitely the better team. So.
Well, I got the impression that on Saturday, England played the way it should have played against Argentina, and it might have won.
Maybe. But if you watch the second half, that's why they lost to Argentina. Much closer game. They were up 4-0 at the half, so that gave them a lot of leeway. And then, France came back and it was 4-3. I mean, England is a little bit lucky that they didn't lose that game or go to, penalty kicks or whatever. I mean, they were a little lucky on that. But yeah, it's a little different if you're only leading 1-0 than you're leading 4-0. So. Oh, that is the rain coming down now. Ooh.
We have 3 minutes out.
Okay.
I'm going to run some music. I could find the doggone, I know, but I got to push. There you go. Yeah, 2 minutes.
Okay.
John, where's the crowd going for dinner tonight?
Then it's tomorrow night because the Village Inn is closed tonight. So the Village Inn. And yummy stuff. You're welcome to come if you want.
Well, no, I'd come home and have dinner with my son.
You can bring him too.
think he has agoraphobia.
I don't know what that is, but that's okay. Almost time to go.
Fear of public places. The agora was in ancient
I'm gonna go with the showdown.
Okay.
Mike's still on? You're on.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. I have Mike Smith here from Florida, where it's apparently raining in sunny Florida.
Yes, it is. It's we've been having rain the last couple of days, so it'll pass.
Yep. And we have our producer, John McDonough.
Good morning.
The national debt is $39.510 trillion. Weather up here in Lowell, low of 55, high of 83. It's going to be sunny. That's the good news. Back in 1807, I didn't realize it was this long ago, Nice Fleury Neopesi is awarded a patent by Napoleon Bonaparte for the Fleury, the world's first internal combustion engine, after it successfully powered a boat upstream on the River Seine in France. Not Seine, the River Somme. So the internal combustion engine, that plays right along. But before we get to that, first, in 1848, first Women's Rights Conference in Seneca Falls, New York. It was a 2-day event. It concluded on this day.
Yeah, Cliff, Seneca Falls is only about 30 minutes away from where I lived. So, been through it many times.
Do the falls go into the lake? The Great Lake?
No, they wouldn't go Seneca Falls. That go into one of the Finger Lakes. It wouldn't go into like Lake Ontario. No.
Oh, okay.
Zoom up there. There it is.
On this day in 1903, Ford Motor Company ships its first automobile. And then in 1940, California opens its first freeway, the Arroyo Seco Parkway. So automobiles really grew a lot between 1903 and 1940. In 1941, Soviet leader Joseph Stalin consolidates the commissariats of Home Affairs and National Security to form the NKVD and names Leveti Beria its chief. And Beria is famous for the phrase, "Show me the man and I'll show you the crime." It's not a good way to run a country. In 1944, on this day in World War II, Adolf Hitler survives an assassination attempt led by German Army Colonel Klaus von Stauffenberg. There's at least one street in Germany named after von Stauffenberg. I have been on it. It's, I think, up in Hamburg. Hitler survives because Stauffenberg brings a briefcase into the meeting and puts it down in a convenient place to get Hitler, and then someone kicks it out of the way and puts it behind the leg of a table, and it just didn't do the job. In 1969, the Apollo 11 crew successfully makes the first human landing on the moon in the Sea of Tranquility. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin become the first humans to walk on the moon 6.5 hours later.
Yeah, I remember that on black and white TV and staying up. I think it was later at night on the East Coast, wasn't it, to watch that, if I remember right?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Let's see, 74, 69, I was in Germany. So it would have been a lot darker. On this day in 1974, the Turkish invasion of Cyprus, forces from Turkey invade Cyprus after a coup organized by the dictator of Greece against the President Archbishop Makarios of Cyprus. That was a mess. In 1976, the American Viking 1 lander successfully lands on Mars. 1977, Johnstown flood of 1977 kills 84 people and causes millions of dollars in damages. Not as bad as the previous big flood. On this day in 1919, Edmund Hillary, New Zealand mountaineer, was born. He passed away in 2008. He, along with Tenzing Norgay, were the first people to climb Mount Everest. And in 1980, Gisele Bündchen was born, Brazilian modelist, fashionist, businesswoman, and with all the talk during the FIFA Cup about the GOAT, whenever I hear the term GOAT, I usually think of Tom Brady.
Yeah, they consider Lionel Messi to be the GOAT in soccer. So.
Yep. And Gisele Bündchen was a beautiful woman that Tom Brady married and then divorced. Yeah.
Yeah, she was worth more money than he is, though. I mean, people forget that she had her own money, her own business, and that. She was quite wealthy.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry that they weren't lucky at their first try. Some people get lucky their first try around, some people don't.
Yeah, it's tough.
You got to work at it.
Well, Tom Brady is no failure, Cliff. I'm sure he did.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in the public eye like that, though, I mean, there's a lot. People don't realize this. I wish I was multimillionaire. I wish I was this and that. They don't realize that there's other things that go on in your life and pressure. We take our privacy for granted, that we can go and do things, walk into the grocery store, nobody, we don't have people coming up to us all the time. That somebody like Brady, he's well recognized in the media and that. I mean, you don't have your privacy.
Yep.
So Vance and his wife baby boy yesterday?
Yes.
Vice President Vance and his wife had a baby boy yesterday.
Ah.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Yep.
In 1923, Pancho Villa passed away. Governor of Chihuahua, been born in 1878. The Episcopal Church celebrates on this day Elizabeth Katie Stanton, Amelia Bloomer, Sojourner Truth, and Harriet Ross Tubman. I sent President Trump a letter suggesting he put Harry Tubman on the $20 bill and be done with it. We'll see.
So then no more Hamilton on the bill then, right?
Yeah. And today is International Chess Day.
Ah.
But yesterday was FIFA Cup Day.
Yesterday was National Ice Cream Day.
Ah, I should have gotten some ice cream.
Yes.
So Spain is the winner.
Yep, it was a good game. I mean, Spain was definitely better. They were favored. I'm surprised that Spain didn't score earlier after Argentina had one of their players get a red card. And it was deserved. It was just stupid what the player did. He already was on a yellow card to begin with. So once that happened, the chances of Argentina winning went down to like 4 or 5% because Spain is just that good. But Argentina almost did it. I mean, if they had held off and gone to penalty kicks from the extra time, I think Argentina would have won in penalty kicks because anything can happen there. So I think Argentina would have. So it was a good tournament. I think the more exciting game was the game the day before for third place between England and France. England was winning 4-0 at the half, and after the half, France played better, and it was 4-3 in the game. There was a good chance France could have tied the game up. So anybody who says playing for third place doesn't count, you can ask those players if that's true, which it is not. So that was an exciting game. Yeah.
I saw a couple of suggestions that instead of doing this every 4 years, it should be done every 2 years.
That might be tough to do because I don't think people realize that they started qualifying for this at least a year before the tournament. So the amount of time for qualifying and playing games takes a lot of time too. People don't realize that. They did every 2 years, basically. You'd be like a member of Congress, always being involved with the World Cup. So,
Well, I think that it's way too much money for average citizens, for the thousands and thousands of people who came here. Each one of them paid $10,000 to be there. $10,000 out of your pocket every other year. I just don't think people, the regular Tom, Dick, or Mary, can afford that.
yeah. I mean, people save up for this and do that. It's the Women's World Cup, which was is next year. The next Women's World Cup was in 2023 in New Zealand and in Australia. And my son was able to afford tickets. They were reasonable. They're only like maybe $40, to go to them, which was, of course, the Women's World Cup isn't as big. So that was more affordable for people. The next Men's World Cup in 2030, they're going to go from 48 to 64 teams. So they're going to have even more countries.
Okay, Eileen.
Yep, and that's going to be held on the 100th anniversary of the first World Cup, which was in Uruguay. So they're going to be having their first 3 games in South America, and then the next games will be between the hosts, Morocco, Portugal, and Spain. So it's going to be held on both the European and African continents. Plus, some games are in South America to start. So that'll be quite interesting.
I would think every 2 years also would be a problem because these guys all have day jobs playing for their own teams, right?
Yes.
Then they break off for the national team.
Yep. Yeah. So what they do is with something like this, when the World Cup comes, they suspend the leagues so that the leagues aren't playing during that time, so that the World Cup can go on.
Hey, Mike, can you speak to Spain? How much money did Spain make yesterday by winning?
I'm not sure, but it's quite a bit. I mean, you're talking the players for winning. I know that probably the players for winning with the way FIFA is now, they probably get at least $100,000 bonus for each player on the team. So, I mean, there's probably 22, 25 players on the team. So you're talking, just for the players alone, that's not what the country gets. It's a lot of money. They make some good money off this.
Yeah, I understand.
I'll look it up and let you know during the podcast. I'll check on it.
With FIFA, everything's a big secret.
Yeah, they made a lot of money off this tournament. I mean, a lot. You're talking billions on this tournament. With the amount of people that were coming, the amount of games. And like I said, the next World Cup for the 100th anniversary, they're going to go from 48 to 64 teams. So you're going to see even more games and more money coming in. FIFA gets a lot of money.
So AI says the Spain national football team won 50 to 51 million yesterday.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
I heard someone make a comment about stadiums, that we've got in the U.S. about 30 stadiums big enough to host these kinds of games, but not every country has that number of stadiums. Is that a factor in all this?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's part of it with the amount of teams. That's why they're going to multi-countries. I mean, we could have hosted this by ourselves. So, but they didn't do that. I think next time with the 2030, I would think between 2034 to 2038 World Cups, it'll be back on North America again. They'll switch them back and forth. They probably will have, after the 2030, probably somewhere towards Asia. They sort of rotate it around.
Now, Argentina received 42 million.
Yeah. There's a lot. So you figure right there, close to 100 million just for those teams. That doesn't include all the other teams, what they won. Because there were bonuses from countries and from FIFA, like finishing third or, making it to the round of 32. There's a lot of money being paid out, plus FIFA keeps a lot of money.
Back to you, Cliff. Sorry.
No. So we touched on this Friday, but with Mike down in Florida, he might have a slightly different view, and that is permanent daylight savings time. That Congress is dealing with the Sunshine Protect Act of 2025. They're still playing with it. Make daylight savings time permanent. I would think the difference down in Florida would not be as great as it is up here. What do you think, Mike?
No, I mean, our time here for sunrise and sunset is different from up in Massachusetts. I mean, you had an earlier sunrise. When we were up in New York and Canada in June, the sun came up earlier, and we still had about the same sunset time. Yeah, it wouldn't be as important here, I don't think, if you stayed on daylight saving time or the other time. The biggest thing that I look at it from is, let's not have to worry about switching, twice a year. Let's just go to a permanent time and stay with it. They did that a lot for the oil crisis to save money. That's not going to be an issue any longer. So just stay on either permanent daylight saving time or standard time. Because we already have some states that are, different in the United States. They've got permission where they stay either on standard time or daylight saving time year round.
Hey, Fru.
Morning, Cliff.
I would like to see Congress instantly make law that children's jackets, be they summer jackets, winter jackets, be reflective, because we're going to have to give these kids flashlights to stand at the bus stop. And also, communities should make a brightly lit area where the kiddos stand and wait for the bus. Back to you, Cliff.
Okay. Yeah, Fru, we're talking permanent daylight savings time or permanent standard time as opposed to switching twice a year. I understand some people have trouble with the switching. It takes them a while to adjust every phase. I've been lucky. I don't have quite that problem, so I'm sort of indifferent to the issue. But I do know that the further north you get, the more the sunrise sunset hours change. When we first got to Alaska, it was in the summer, and one of our kids was up very early, like 4 o'clock in the morning. The first night we moved in, out riding his bicycle around, because the sun was shining. It was like it was daylight. It was daylight. And then in the winter, very short days. But in the summer, the bedrooms all had blackout curtains, so you could get some sleep.
But the question I would like to ask is, we have been talking about this, not the first time, not the first year, we have been talking about it. Is it only the U.S. that is facing this kind of issue, or there are other countries around the world that are in this condition, but they have changed to standard time?
Well, I'm trying to think back. Time I lived in Germany, I don't think I recall us switching. It was always the same time. I think that it's maybe something that's more American. The idea of saving fuel and money by going to daylight savings.
Now, Cliff, I got up on the screen. You guys can't see it. December 21st. It's a Monday. It's going to, the sun will rise at 7:12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if we leave the clocks the way they are right now, my guess is, and Cliff will love to teach me if I'm wrong, 8:12 the sun's going to be coming up December 21st. That's mighty dark when you use your imagination, because it's not, you're going to get twilight, a little bit of light, I would say 7:30ish, but up until 7:30 it's going to be pitch dark.
Yeah, I think you're correct on that, John. And since Cliff was asking about, and Fru was asking about different countries, I know in New Zealand, compared to the U.S., and it doesn't coincide with us having daylight saving time or not having daylight saving time. At different times of the year, compared to us, New Zealand is 16 hours ahead of us, then 17 hours, then 18 hours. So they switch around too. So that's one country I know of that is different, that does switch around with the times.
But is it right for me to say that, we are having this problem because we are a large country with different time zones?
Yeah, it's possible, Fru, But I think it's like anything else, that if you adapt to like a permanent daylight saving time or a permanent standard time, it'll take a little bit, but then people just look at it as that's the way it is right now. Because we've always had the different time zones, right? We've always had those. So
No.
I think I agree with your point, Mike. If you start it, people will get used to it.
Yeah.
We used to have 300 or so different time zones in the United States.
Back when Moses lived here.
Back what?
when Moses lived here.
Yeah.
No, back before the railroads.
Well, Moses was here.
Just a little quick side note. You're asking about the FIFA tournament. I did look it up. They say that they generated over $15 billion in this tournament for FIFA. All the countries that participated were guaranteed a minimum of $10.5 million for just participating in the tournament. So it's a huge amount of money that they made off this tournament.
Everybody had a great time, Mike. Everybody had all the reports I saw. Very few bellyachers about this whole shit. They loved it.
I didn't see anything in the news, whether it was liberal, conservative, or whatever. I didn't see anything bad in the news really about the tournament at all. The only thing that was the big uproar is with the red card on the U.S. and then the player was allowed to play. That was the big thing. Besides that, there was nothing else in the that went on.
Oh, Mike, on that note, Mike, I think that if Trump had not had that used his influence to let that guy play, the U.S. would be bellyaching. If we had that guy, we would have won. So I think it was a good idea they put the guy back on the field because the U.S. lost fair and square. They had all their best people there, and they lost.
I agree. I mean, and the U.S. played terrible that game, so they deserved to lose. So
it's like they partied the night before. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I said it looked like they're all playing with a hangover. So
Argentina played very well, but they were very, very lucky because if you watch the match between Morocco, the referee definitely, there was an offside, there was a handball that they reviewed it and they did not. But the last match against Spain dominated that match, and at the end of the game, Kylian Mbappe beat the record. He's one now with 22 goals above Messi and all.
Yeah, the game the day before, Fru, between England and France was more exciting. So
very, very exciting, Mike. And that for France to come back and score 4 goals.
Yeah. It was quite the game. I'd have to look at stuff with the handball. We can have a discussion on that. But as far as the offside goes, I don't know if you realize FIFA for this tournament took body scans of every player that was playing in the tournament, and they used that technology for looking at offside if it was on or off. So
that particular game, Mike, they did not review it instantly as they were reviewing all the other ones. This one, it is after the fact. They would have stopped that game and then review for everyone to see.
Well, that's up to the VA. So in those situations, so what I've seen is it's up to VAR to say we're reviewing this and whether they're going to overturn it or not. So it's not up to the assistant referee or the referee. VAR will review that, and if they don't say anything to the referee, then they don't do the offside.
And that is what people were saying, that Argentina played well, but they were lucky and they were somehow lenient.
Well, they were lucky they didn't get scored on earlier than they did in the Spain game. I mean, they were just like their goalie played phenomenal. So yes. I felt kind of bad for him. He made all those saves. Then they scored the one in extra time. I thought it was going to go to penalty kicks. I really did, but.
And I think I was scared. Because I favored Spain to win, but I knew that it would win the penalty kick.
Yeah, it was exciting. This was good. Looking beyond the games, I think that having the World Cup here, not only here but Canada and Mexico, but we're biased because we live in the U.S. I think this was one of the greatest goodwill things for the U.S. as far as the world is concerned. You're going to have thousands and thousands of people who came here from other places go back home and say how great they had a good experience visiting the United States. And I think that's one of the best things that came out of this.
Yeah, and one observation which was very, very good, on the world stage was to have the president of Mexico, and Prime Minister of Canada standing on stage and handing those medals.
Yeah, I thought that was great too. I mean, I'm just saying overall, when you think about all the people came here, all the venues that it was held at, and it was done over a month's time, we had almost nothing negative happen for this World Cup. And that's great for the whole world, and it was great for Canada, Mexico, and the United States. And, I hope that the next one they have, it's just as successful. So.
I want to go back to...
Do you think they'll come back to America, Michael?
Not right away. I looked it up. I told you already the next one's in Portugal, Spain, and Morocco, except for those first three games. The 2034 World Cup is going to be in Saudi Arabia. So, like I said, they rotated around. Here it was in North America. The next one's going to be in Europe, except for those first couple games. And then the next one I said would probably be in Asia, that area. So,
John, to answer your question, the last time that we hosted the World Cup was in 1990.
Well, I just think with the venues that we have, the happiness we had, the peacefulness that we have, they might want to come back here sooner rather than later, because the money they made off this game sounds like it was wicked good loot.
It's not really the money, but...
oh, yes, it is.
John, they have been going around the world. I mean, I don't look at things just in terms of material things that we look, but they have been going around the world. So they have been making money wherever they go, and the fact is they will one day come back here, but not for now.
2038. We'll probably be back in North America, similar to what happened now. 2038, I'm looking at.
I think they'll be back sooner. They love money just as much as you and I do.
Well, the 2030 is already set, and the 2034 was announced in December of 2024 to go to Saudi Arabia. Because Saudi Arabia is building. So we already know the earliest they would come back here is 2038. So hopefully we're all around still. So.
God willing.
So,
yes.
So back to daylight savings time. Even within a time zone, John said that, what'd you say, 7:12?
8:12.
Okay.
7:12 is, right now, if we don't change the clocks, if the sun comes up December 21st, 7:12.
But in Buffalo, New York, the sun will be coming up later than 7:12.
I'm sure in Japan it's going to be a different time too, Cliff, yep.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it's the same time zone.
Yeah. Same thing with Florida. Ours is different than yours are.
My point is, Cliff, I don't care when the sun comes up. It's wicked dark till at least 8 a.m. on the eastern part of the country, and we're going to make the kids stand at the bus stop in December, January, and February. Wicked. When's the coldest time of the day? Just before the sun comes up. Yeah. And I just think we have to, as a community, every community out there, be it Tewksbury or Tewksbury, they've got to have some kind of accommodation for these kiddos if they're going to be standing out at a bus stop. At least better lit area. And
yeah, I don't have a problem with that, John. I mean, that would be good. Make sure that it's not as dangerous as pitch black. So yeah.
And any size jacket has got to have a reflective front and back so you can see these poor. Everybody wears a black. It's raining out, so I'm going to put my black jacket on, my black pants, and a black hat, and I'm going to get on my black bike. And if you run me over, I'm going to sue you.
Well, John, but you're already providing a solution there.
That'll be tough to get everybody to comply to that. I mean, I can only give you my experience. I walk earlier in the morning, and I'm near the high school, Largo High School, and a lot of the kids, they have these e-bikes or a regular bike, in the morning. They go zooming by. I have to pay attention when they're on the sidewalk going by me. I always wear light clothing so that I'm easily seen, just for that reason. So, yeah, it's a good suggestion, John.
Thank you.
So, President Trump had his speech Thursday, and the media pretty much ignored it. Anybody excited about it?
Had to be done.
Yeah, I just think he should have spent more time laying out the bigger picture on for the Iran war, but
He didn't.
Yeah,
He's still mad as hell he lost that election. And you know what? Joe Biden, they're still asking him, Joe, what flavor ice cream is that? Poor Joe.
yeah, he is. That's why you're starting to say his book. That's why he wrote a book. He needs money. So
the auto pen writes the book.
Go ahead, Cliff. Sorry, it's cut you off.
No, yeah, I was just going to say, it was supposed to originally come out in September, but forces of the bee convinced them to wait until after the general election in November. So
it'll be interesting to see what really goes into that book, and if he even, when people talk to him about the book, if he knows what everything that went into the book.
Well, there's another book coming out in September called Unburdened by Lindsay Lee, L.I. Is that Lee? I think so. And she's going to talk about her experience in the Democratic Party. So that might be interesting, too. Speaking of books, I read a book titled Mindsets, The New Psychology of Success by Carol Dweck, D-W-E-C-K. And she lays out two mindsets. One she calls rigid, and that mindset is sort of, I should be succeeding, it must be someone else's fault. And flexible, which has a mindset of there's a solution out there, I just have to find it. And this talks about how we respond, in my mind, how we respond to others. You can be in difficult positions, situations, and if you respond well, things can move along. Back before the Freedom March from Selma to Montgomery, I was down in Selma, Alabama, and the class behind me had a West Point graduate who took his commission in the Air Force. He was black. He was driving down, like a lot of cadets. He had a little help from his parents and had a sports car. I can't remember if he had a Jaguar or a Corvette, but it was something like that. And every southern state he went through, he got stopped by the state troopers. And he was respectful to the state troopers, showed him his ID, his driver's license, and got sent along, and ended up at Craig Field in Selma. He could have been like this guy down in Florida who got all upset with the police for misgendering him, a transgender person. It doesn't do any good to get upset like that. I was taught as a kid to respect the police and obey them. I assume the rest of you were taught the same thing. Yeah? No?
Yeah, no, Cliff, I like to jump in, and I think that is a very, very powerful message to everyone, and particularly particularly to the immigrants. I can talk about the immigrants from Africa because I was listening to one good message, and he told it like if he were to advise immigrants from Africa, that's what he will do. He's a retired African. I think he's originally from Côte d'Ivoire, speaking in French. He's a retired police officer who served for 20 years in Chicago. So he was advising the African immigrants and those who are just coming here that when you come to this country, the most important thing that you should do is don't get into quarrels. And even if you don't understand anyone, don't bring the habits that probably you bring from your country of origin in this country. And if anyone provokes you, no matter what the situation is, never use your fist, never raise so to get into a fight with someone. And particularly with the police, you have to also be respectful, and that he, as a police officer for more than 20 years, he has seen quite a lot, and that they should know that the police officers too are like us. They have empathy, they are compassionate, and that when you treat them in that spirit, they would also be considerate. I speak for myself because there have been sometimes that I have actually been speeding, but the officer comes. I say, "Oh, officer, I am sorry." He said, "Do you know why I stopped you?" I said, "Yes, officer. I think I was going very fast." He said, "Sit in the car." I said, "Officer, I'm sorry." He went into his car, came back and said, "You know what? I give you a warning because you know that you can be endangering your life and the lives of others." And I think that you want to really see that he is also a human being. He comes with a family and he knows that, being remorseful and respectful, he's just doing his job. So I think in that he saw that I really appreciated him, and his judgment worked in my favor. But some immigrants from Africa, as this officer said, the police stops them, they start getting irritated, and they will be using it as a racial issue that he should have, as if he's not doing his job. And it ends up with not only with officers, but if you try to get into a fist fight, know that what you do, you may be right, but when you enter the court, the law doesn't really excuse unless it is you are doing everything as a sign of defending yourself. So I thought that Cliff bringing that up, I thought it's good that we share this to also our audience, because some of our audience are being very, very diverse, and they said to be forewarned is to be prepared.
Yeah. There are cultural differences around the world. There are cultural differences within this country, and we need to be aware of those kinds of things and show some respect for other people, I think.
Very, very true, Cliff, because in 2002 up to 2016, that's what I was a member of the Lowell Police Race Relation Council, and I have been involved with the police and I've learned a lot from them. Went to Citizen Police Academy. I think I'm the only person who has done it twice and get certified twice, and even drove overnight with the police escort. I did travel with then Commissioner of Police, Commissioner Ed Davis. We attended police relation council meetings with the chiefs of police in California and here, and I was just trying to bring that aspect, Cliff, because most of us who come from Africa in particular, when the police stops you on the road, you, as a sign of respect, get out to go and show your papers. But here that can be an aggressive move, and that can cost your life. And also, I call on to most immigrants who are coming here, please just go down to the police office and get yourself friendly. Go to City Hall, sit there and see how this country runs. That's an education that is worth more than money that you can get, because if you mingle yourself with the police, there are trainings there, they even volunteer. You learn a lot about your new country, which it's become our home, and you learn not to do what is illegal, and work and respect the laws. If anything happens to you, you know exactly to call the police or to call who to help you.
My hand's up over here. Go ahead, Mike.
It's like anything else, what Fru was saying. You get to know each other, and there's less fear or ignorance or whatever. Once you get to know each other, then you can respect each other, and you should be able to get along better. So what are you saying? That makes sense to me.
What I want to put out there is we have lots of videos on television. I watch a program called Live PD because I can shut it off anytime I want. It's always just amazingly disrespectful how people treat the police. You get pulled over, and you don't put your window down, and you tell a cop, I can hear you fine. Now, that's the first thing that I think is disrespectful to these cops. At least put your freaking window down. But these, oh no, I don't have to put my window. No law says I have to put my window down. I'm not putting my window down. And then, don't get out of the car. These people get out of the car. They just create trouble. And the body cams, thank God, are saving the cops. But the disrespect, I see these people screaming in people's faces, screaming in cops' faces. You got no right to do this. You got no right. It's terrible what they're doing to the cops. Back to you, Cliff.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just to add on to that, John, most people in the police organizations, in any kind of enforcement, are trying to do their job just like we did our jobs, trying to do a good job. Are there sometimes people that are not doing the job right? Absolutely. But it's a small minority compared to the rest. And, it's a dangerous job. You pull somebody over nowadays, even for a speeding ticket or a broken taillight or anything like that, you don't know who's in that car. That's why, they ask you to do those things. I gotta be honest. When I was younger, I got some speeding tickets. I was, my dad told me, you get pulled over ahead of time, stop your car, roll your window down. You don't need to be asked. Put your hands up on the dash so they can see that there's no, threats at all, and then answer their questions. Don't argue with them. And, if you were speeding, you're breaking the law. So, they're just doing their job.
I agree.
I agree too.
So I got this video, and it talked about bread. And I'm not a chemist, so all the terms of different things that go into bread weren't familiar to me. But they listed about 10 breads that we think are probably pretty good, but aren't, filled with bad chemicals, including Walmart, Target's Market Pantry, Oro Wheat, Nature's Own, Arnold Organic.
Excuse me, Cliff. All of them. So you're telling me all Walmart breads are no good for me?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to refine that a little bit as I go along. Wonder Bread, Sara Lee Honey Wheat Bread, Pepperidge Farm, their non-white bread, Dave's Killer Bread, which I've never heard of, and 365 by Whole Foods. And the presenter of this YouTube item suggested that if the bread acts sort of like it was a sponge, you squeeze it and it pops back out, it may not be all that good for you. And he did list 3 that he thought were good: Food for Life, 1 Degree, and Silver Hills Sprouted Bakery. And he said, look to see the ingredients. If there's 5 ingredients, you're okay. If there's 10 ingredients, you probably ought to pass it by. And he said bread that's in the freezer is better than shelf bread, because shelf bread has all these chemicals to preserve it and make it last longer. So I'm not sure what to make of all this. I normally buy Petrie's Farm bread and assumed it was great, but apparently not so. Anybody else see this video?
I didn't see the video, but it's the added ingredients for the shelf life. Because if you go and if you buy some of the fresh baked bread in some of the stores, you know that it's not going to last. We usually will put it in the freezer or fridge to keep it, so it'll last longer. It's all about if they did all the bread without the ingredients in it, they'd be changing bread, even more so every day, and they'd be throwing a lot more out because people want bread that lasts because they don't want to have to go to the store every 2 or 3 days to get bread, so that's why you got more ingredients in it. We will buy it when we buy our bread. We'll usually put it in the fridge. We know we're not going to use it all in a short time, or in the freezer, and then just pull it out.
I think I watched that video clip, but the good thing, the important thing about that video that I observed was that this was a thorough analysis, and I think the Food and Drug Administration also gave some statistics, and that most of what is in the bread is because of the chemicals that they spray the farms for this for the wheat and the rest. But that goes back also to talk about how we are talking about food. You remember last time we were talking about food in Japan also. I mean, it's not really the quantity of the food. It is how healthy is the food. That's really important. And but if you look here, it's in terms of commercializing and making money. But when that experience itself was horrifying to me, the level of chemicals that are in some of these breads that we are eating. It's not what I'm saying, it's not what you are saying, it's what these experts independently did their own research and published the results, and even called these companies, which they did not decline. And I think we give thanks to these people who are doing this research. They're doing it for the protection of people, because if they don't do it, everything will be commercialized, and you don't know. This thing, we end up on in the hospitals, but this illness is that you buy with your own hard-earned money, which you are being deceived, and most of the bread are the ones that they call organic. Those organics, most of those breads are even more toxic, but you spend more money on them.
All All I gotta say to you kids is simply this, okay? Life's too short. Enjoy. If you look at the ingredients in your ice cream, in a candy bar, in soda, look at the ingredients there. It's a real healthy choice. No, it's not. It's a real tasty choice. And there's no way I'm showing my wife that video. I love the bread she brings home. I'm a professional consumer, not a creator. She creates all the food, so whatever she brings home is exquisite. Back to Cliff.
Just a little thing I'll add on what Fru was talking about. Everybody thinks organic. When you see organic, it's great. But it's pretty easy to get the label organic on products. They're not checking all the stuff you think they are. So I agree with Fru. Just because it says organic does not mean it's more healthy.
Good
and you
point,
are paying a lot more.
The word local means it's been bred or created within 300 miles of this community. That's local. 300
there you
miles.
Go.
So switching gears here, artificial intelligence is set to make disruption in the area of employment. I mean, I have no doubt about that, but it's also bringing a lot of good to the country too, helping physicians and diagnose people, helping develop new drugs, allowing people that work to do a better job. So, but people are going to lose jobs, and so I'm proposing an optional sabbatical year that the federal government takes our collective tax money and creates a 380-day education or training period for people, say, age 32 to 42. You may want to upgrade yourself within your own industry and move ahead and be more productive, or you may want to shift. You may be working at some job in industry, and you say, I'd like to teach this skill at some trade school. So we allow people to refine the skills in the path or shift to new locations, and if you're staying within your industry and within your company, the government gives tax credits to the company to fund your sabbatical year, or maybe it funds your sabbatical year by paying for housing expenses, that kind of thing. Does that seem like a reasonable approach to helping people cope with AI?
I'm going to let Fru talk. I was going to say I'm going to let you talk, Fru, because time is short for you. Then I'll say what I've got to say.
Let me put it short. I was saying that, Mike, during the Industrial Revolution, the dot-com revolution with the computers, those things happen. But the scariest thing with AI is the fact that employers see the benefit with AI. They are eliminating the human force because no insurance, no health insurance, there will be no strikes, nothing. They are in control. And it brings them more money than putting human being. But by doing that, they are looking, but in terms of capital, in terms of cash, but they are not looking in terms of the effects that will cause to families, to poor families, to all this and that. So when you look at it, AI becomes very, very dangerous. Because when I went to Japan, instead of having a server come to serve me, it was this robot machine that was serving me. That is already, their families, more people will be unemployed, there will be homelessness, there will be so many things, but the rich people will never feel this effect. And that is why, and these researches some of them are funded by government money that is contributed by the people. And they use this money that will affect the people negatively.
And on that note, thanks, Fru. We'll see you next week. We're going to go to break. Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good day, Fru.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Fru.
Okay, Cliff, you good to go?
Yep.
You're on.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to City Life Show. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. I'm joined by my co-host, Eileen DelRossi. Hello, Eileen.
Good morning, everybody.
We have Mike Smith zooming in from Florida. And, of course, we have our producer, John McDonough. Eileen, how's your elbow healing up?
Well, every time I think it's good, something else happens, like I bang it or something, because I'm so coordinated. So
Boy.
I'm just going to keep it covered, I think. And I think, maybe it just needs some air, and I bang it, because I'm so special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mike, we were discussing something, but you had some follow-up comments.
Yeah, you were talking about the government possibly doing a 380-day educational training period. So I look at it, our government and other government program, with the amount of fraud that we have found in all these government programs, how are we going to oversee this, that people are actually getting training? Because we do have programs already for people that are on public assistance and Medicaid or whatever, that they're supposedly getting training or helping them with, entering the workforce. I mean, AI is going to be tough on a bunch of people. We're going to have to adapt. Of course, when all the computers came out, and the dot-com bubble, when all that was going on, people had to adapt then. When you went from the horse and buggy to cars, that made a big change, to people. So, people are going to have to make some changes. The education system's going to make changes. AI can be a good thing, or like Fru was saying, but it does take some of the human out of it. And let's remember, businesses are in the business of making money, whether it's privately owned or it's publicly owned for shareholders. They didn't start the business to just give away everything to the general public. They have a product or a service that they thought people would want, and they want to be rewarded for providing that product or service. So AI, they're looking at it, if we can do it just as good or better with less people, they're going to do that. Even without AI, businesses are always looking at that. Do we need this many people, or can we do it more efficiently with less people?
I got to say this about AI. The news media, the media that creates these things better police themselves, or the federal government's going to police you. It needs to, if an AI video is created and you have Cliff and an AI created by, Cliff created by AI and Mike created by AI, it should say somewhere on the screen all the time, this is an AI creation. And the same thing with the verbiage. When the president says, I have this wonderful speech that AI wrote, he's got to disclose he used AI. And if we don't get in front of this, a computer can fake you out just like that. And by the way, texts are not working this morning. Sorry, they're not working. Back to you, Cliff.
No, John, I agree with you on that, because right now already, when you go to watch a movie or show now, what they can do in those different things with AI and everything generated, you don't know what's real or not. I mean, Kathy and I discuss this all the time. She'll get a news report or a video or something, and she'll go, is that real? And I go, the only way we can tell is we got to go and take the time to check their multiple sources if what that's saying is real. And most people don't have time to do that. So it's real easy to put out stuff that's not real or not correct.
So, in the first hour, going through the history, 1903, Henry Ford ships his first car. And Henry Ford's big insight back in those days was that if he was going to sell cars, the people he was employing had to be able to afford them. And so he worked on that basis. And the AI people will soon find that millionaires are not sufficient to keep business going. They have to have everybody working so that everyone can purchase the kinds of things they're producing. The AI could, if it doesn't ensure that everyone has a job, will just become a downward spiral that crashes and crashes the economy. You have to have work to go along with money.
Yeah, well, yeah, so people are going to have to adapt their skill sets to work along with AI, which means that the school systems, and Eileen maybe can give us some insight to that, is going to have to make and adapt even more quickly to what students are learning and what their skill sets are.
That was a hint to you, Eileen.
No, I was just saying, in my head, as you guys were talking, I was thinking, my son Anthony knows right away if something's AI generated on YouTube, or whatever it is. So I find that interesting, how the generation just automatically kind of knows. What was the specific question that you had said, Mike?
No, I was saying that with AI coming in more and more now, the school systems are going to have to adapt quicker to give the right skill sets and information to the students.
Oh,
yeah. And we know how fast that the school systems adapt, right? So
I wish, right? I mean,
yeah, right.
It's the reason they'll fall behind of everywhere, because the school systems don't want to put the work in to change and adapt. They rather keep it the way it was in the 90s and early 2000s, keep accepting the money, and we'll see kids not do well.
Yeah, I mean, that's businesses. I mean, it's almost like you need to have successful business people come in and give seminars to the school systems on how they've adapted and what they had to do. And it's not easy, but it's either adapt in business or you're out of business. So,
Mike, we can't forget that nobody in the United States stays back anymore. From Florida to Canada, nobody stays back.
Yeah.
From Massachusetts to LA, nobody stays back.
I can't disagree with you on that, John, because heaven forbid you hurt somebody's feelings. Or people feel that, I mean, if you don't set a standard, then how do you know what skill set people have? I mean, look at the military now, what's changed since Trump came into office. They've set standards from the generals on down. Every year, everybody's got to do a fitness test. Doesn't matter who you are. These are the standards. If you're a man, woman, I don't care if you're a Martian that came here. This is the standards. If you don't meet them, you can't get to the next level. So it's, that's the issue is with the school systems, if they don't set this, and it's tough because you got parents coming in and saying, oh, you can't keep my son back. He's going to feel bad. Well,
Too
the
bad.
question I'm asking is why are they not reaching that skill set? So is there too many students in the class? Is it they have a learning disability? Or is it they don't have any support at home?
Well, promote him with Fs. Promote him with Fs so he can say, look at you, buddy, you had an F in every freaking grade and your mother insisted to promote you.
Yeah. They don't do that in college. You know,
They
if
just
you
take
get
your
below,
money.
yeah, they don't do that in college. So, I mean, you have to meet a certain standard. So, I mean, I understand that the kids are going to feel bad if they don't move on. But in a way, you're not helping that kid at all. It's interesting in New Zealand where my son and my grandson, where the family lives. They start school, like when you start school at like 5 for kindergarten at that age group. My grandson's birthday's in July, so they started right after, like a couple weeks after his birthday, and they integrate everybody in. But in New Zealand, they have school year round, so they'll do so many weeks and then have 2 weeks off. Then they do another so many weeks, 2 weeks off. They might have 3 weeks off at Christmas and New Year's, but their school goes year round there, and it seems they have standards. Yeah.
So, Mike, while I got your ear, just make sure you know, everybody knows, we're taking the month of August off. In other words, there's no show starting August 3rd, and there won't be a live show until August 31st.
All right, well, I'm going on a cruise in August, so that's fine with me.
What boat?
We're going to try out of Tampa, that Margaritaville. We haven't done that yet. A lot of people we know down here have done it. And actually, the cruise we're going on is the week that my birthday is August 15th and Kathy's is August 20th. And the cruise goes from the 15th to the 22nd. So we said, let's go on the cruise then, because our birthdays are both during the week of the cruise.
Fantastic. Good for you.
So, Mike, you mentioned people from outer space. One of them apparently landed in Scotland. You may not be old enough to remember when Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile back around,
I know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was before I was born, but I know who he is because I ran track in high school. So I know exactly who he is, yep.
So apparently they had somebody in Scotland do a mile in 3 minutes and 42 seconds. That is pretty fantastic.
Cliff, I'll be right back. I'm going to make sure we're on in Lowell.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, they've went with a metric and English system now in the Olympics. They do the 1,500 meters. They don't. When I ran, they still were doing in the U.S. They were doing the mile, the half mile, quarter mile. They was still in English units. So I mean, they've run. I know that they've run the mile in at least 3 minutes 50 seconds. So it's possible somebody could run a mile under 3 minutes 50 seconds, but that's pretty fast because if you're running a mile in 3 minutes and 42 seconds, that's you're running almost every quarter mile. You're running 55 seconds per quarter mile. That's really fast. So
yep, that is moving along.
Yeah.
So, Eileen, is there another school committee meeting this month?
No, the next one will be August 15th, the middle of the month, I believe, or August 14th.
So we won't get to talk about it until September. But, did you get any update on this literacy program that we got, which I was excited about?
Yeah, so it's a tutoring, like a tier 2 intervention program for kids who, I guess they were saying at the McAuliffe School, at the first grade, they were reading at kindergarten level, and by the time they finished the program, it's 15 minutes of virtual tutoring online. and they had got up to first grade level. But that's only that grade level. They really didn't talk about the gains that were made in, the bigger gaps where the fourth graders aren't reading and so forth.
But it's a step forward.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I was a little concerned that the school put out something, and the quote is, ensure every Lowell student is academically challenged through culturally and linguistically affirming instruction that accelerates their achievement and prepares them for post-secondary success. But whose culture?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the superintendent's 20-30-year plan, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's lots of questions to ask surrounding that. But that wasn't for, this meeting also. So, we'll have to wait.
But I'm worried, is it possible there's some cultures that our students are from that are antithetical to the current culture in the United States? The parents, didn't they come here to find a different culture, one where they could strive and grow?
Yes. I mean, you know what, Cliff? Remind me of these questions next month. Okay. Because I think they're talking about an academic culture, not a cultural culture. You know what I mean? But it's worth being brought to the table.
I think the fact that the parents of the children get to choose if the kid stays back or not, promote the kid with F's. If the mother or the father wants the kid promoted and they're the supreme boss, promote the kid with F's. Don't give him a passing grade.
Oh, that will set off an uproar.
Too bad. That's what the score is. Score is score.
Yeah. I did see an item about, speaking of children, that the child sex change mania, in the words of the author, is worse than we knew. And it was talking about treatments in Children's Hospital in Colorado. 250 patients received puberty blockers, and nearly 550 patients received cross-sex hormones in a single year. That seems like a lot of kids.
Yeah, and it all begins with them turning 13 and not being able to see their portal. Their parents not being able to see their portal.
AI says between 13 and 14,000 people get their gender changed every year.
Can you ask how many are teenagers?
Well, let's scroll down and we'll ask.
Okay. So my question is
2,600.
Out of how many?
13,000.
Jesus.
Yeah. So my question is why did they pick 13 as an age where all of a sudden the kids are so adept at managing their lives that parents don't need to understand or be able to know what's going on?
They're crazy parents.
Well, no, it's a Massachusetts state law. I just realized it last week, Mike, because I had to take Anthony to his 13-year-old checkup, his yearly checkup, and I thought that's what they told me when I went earlier in the year, and I couldn't find his appointment. But then they kind of just confirmed it, asking Anthony if he wanted the link to his portal. And so now he can have private conversations with his doctor, and which is fine. I mean, I probably didn't react very well because we're in the office and I'm like, I just want his portal back. I don't want you to become a furry or a transgender, Anthony. And then, of course, I was asked to leave the room.
Yeah. I mean, I understand sometimes, even at that age, they want to have a private discussion with the doctor, but, that they can have, that you have no access to their medical records any longer.
Right.
If they choose not to, how can you protect and oversee your child? So here, I'm going to give you an example now. So now you don't have any access to their records, and the doctor is saying, well, you need to take this medication, you need to do this, you need to do that. They're under no obligation now to tell the parents anymore. So the kid can say, yeah, fine, I don't want to take it. So, and then all of a sudden now your kid gets sick and something happens to him, and child services come in. Why weren't you taking care of your kid? Why weren't you making sure they took their medicine? Well, it's because you weren't aware of it.
Right. Yeah,
so,
another way to destroy the parenting model.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of insidious on how some of this stuff has happened. That no good turn goes, unpunished. So, people, they start out with good intentions, and then this whole system goes into place, and now, you can't do what was working before, because a couple people had problems. Instead of upending everything, deal with the people having problems, fix that part. I mean, how many times have we seen that, somebody does something bad, so everybody else is punished or loses that right or privilege because those people messed up? It's
what I see is an imbalance. People are talking now about holding parents responsible for the acts of 16 and 17-year-old students. If they go out and do something violent, the parents can be hauled into court. On the other hand, if the parents are cut out and something bad happens to the kid, who is going to absorb the punishment for that?
We're going to hold that thought right there. Going to go to the announcements. This week's announcement, we got a party for Eric Kitchier, for Mayor Eric Kitchier, Lowell City Council at large at the Wapping Weft. And that's going to be this Thursday, the 23rd, from 5:30 to 8 p.m. Donations start at $25 and go up. The Billerica Brawl. Thanks to Kiki Rudy for sending this in. The Tejada and Melina to headline Billerica boxing card. It's going to be this Friday, 7 p.m. at the Billerica Elks Lodge. If you want tickets, you better get a hold of these guys right down here, BostonBoxingPromotions.com. It sounds like a lot of fun, so hope to see you out there. The Cambodian flag raising. I gotta hit the minus again and get the whole thing in here. This. Now it fit and everything, okay. So raise the flag for Cambodia, Friday, July 24th, that's this week, 6 p.m. at Lowell City Hall, 375 Merrimack Street. So mark it down on your calendars, this Friday, 6 p.m. And that's also the beginning of the Folk Festival. So that'll be very well attended, so bring your party gear. The Markley group is having a cookout, and you're invited to go. The only thing you have to do is you have to sign up. So down the bottom here, I know this is a lousy slide, but the best I could find. And you go to rsvpmarkleygroup.com, and you got to reserve soon by the July 24th, and they're going to have music, food, and delicious food for everybody. So it's by invitation only, so you have to sign up first. Today is the 20th, which means the Lowell Senior Center has lemon pepper chicken. Get over there around 10:30 with your $2. If you don't have your $2, that's okay. We'll feed you for free. The only rule is you got to be 60 years old. Also, take a look in your monthly seniors magazine from your local senior center. A lot of good trips that you're missing there. Splash pads in Lowell. If it gets hot this week, and it's going to get hot some days, take a picture of Grandma. Take a picture with your fancy phone where you can bring your grandkid and go to one of these splash pads. Or if the kid likes to swim, there's 2 pools on the South Common and the McPherson pool. But take a picture of this, Grandma, and you can bring your grandkid down and have a lot of smiles. And those are the ballots I got. I have specimen ballots that I got, so someday we'll talk about them. And then free bus rides. LRTA is free until September 30th. So another long time. Free bus ride. Every bus is free on LRTA. Back to you, Cliff.
Okay. So, have we cleaned up on the 21st Century Cures Act? And
yeah, Mike, that's what it's called. It's called the 21st Century Cures Act, if you want to look into it. That allows that to happen. And Massachusetts adopted it as a state law.
Yeah.
I mean, I think part of that has to do with some of it with the abortion issue, some with the trans issue. But, if they're going to do that for kids that age group, then they should be changing for the criminal accountability too. I just was watching an interview the other day with Judge Prero, who's in the D.C. district now. She's like the Attorney General for that area, or the main overseeing that. And she's saying that a lot of these kids, 15, 16, that are committing all these horrendous crimes, they're being treated as minors. And the gangs know that. They said, we'll have these 13, 14, 15-year-olds go do these crimes as part of getting in the gang. And we know they're just going to get a slap on the wrist. So if you're gonna say that teenagers 13 to 17 are going to be able to, the legal right to privacy, for health and all that, which means the government is saying you're mature enough and are of sound mind and maturity to make these decisions on your own, then if you commit crimes in those age groups, then you should be accountable just like an adult.
Hey, can I just ask this question here? Anybody good at math? What is the percentage of 342 million Americans and 13,000 are going to get a sex change this year? What's that percentage?
Oh, it's really low.
So why does it take up so much airtime? What do we care?
Because it's something people catches their interest, and the news, as Fru always says, if they provide the narrative, that drives what people are looking at. So it's it's what they, and there's money behind it too. Some of the people are well educated; they're promoting this and taking care of it. It's crazy.
Still less than 1%.
Oh, way less than 1%.
So why do we talk? And again, why do we talk about it so much?
It's a verbal 1%. That we mentioned.
A furry 1%. What are you talking about, Cliff?
Verbal, VER, VERBEL, verbal. They're yappy. We mentioned earlier about the transgender person who got in a fight with a policeman down in Florida because the policeman misgendered him. They're extremely sensitive about how the other 99% respond to them, rather than taking a live and let live approach to things.
I try to cross the street. If I see a bullhorn or people arguing, I'm not heading towards that crowd of people. I'm going to do an about face or cross the street if I can. I'm not participating.
But that's you.
Eileen,
There are other people.
Eileen, you gonna run up to those people? They're having an argument about the agenda?
No.
Mike, you gonna run up to those people? They're having an argument about the agenda?
No, I'm not good. No.
Cliff, are you the only one that's gonna run up to them?
No, I'm not going to run up and try and create a crisis. But if I accidentally make a mistake and misgender someone, and then that person comes back into my face and tells me what a terrible person I am, now I've got a problem.
Very often people mistake my voice for a woman's voice, and they'll go, ma'am, and I was like, it's sir. And that's about all the correction I have to give, but I have a very female-sounding voice to many.
Yeah.
Just so you want to know there, John, I just did the numbers. That 13,000 is like 1,000th of 1% of the population in the United States.
Let's just ignore them then. Goodbye. Let's ignore them.
Yeah.
They don't want to be ignored.
I don't care.
They want to be identified and respected.
I'm rolling my window up. Bye-bye.
Well, I was reading an article recently. The problem I think we're running into is we're intermixing biological and gender. So I was reading an article recently that biological has to do with male and female because of DNA, XY chromosomes. Gender has to do perception on what people think they are. So, the problem is people are mixing those. Gender, gender is what people think they are, whether we agree with it or not. Whether, I agree with what somebody thinks they're a male or female or binary or non-binary or whatever else they are. Where if you go to science, it's biological, and that there is science behind it. It's male and female concerning the X and Y chromosomes. So that's where I think we run into a problem.
Well, there's an additional problem that comes up. They had some medical college deans up before Congress and trying to get them to commit to issues of what is a male, what is a female candidate, and I never know which way this goes. A trans woman, which is, I assume is a male transitioning to woman. Can a trans woman have a baby? Do they need to be provided?
Why do they get the airtime, Cliff? Why do you give them the air? It's less than, what'd you say, Mike, 1/100 of a percent?
Like 1,000th of 1%.
So, Cliff, let's just turn the page.
Well, okay, except
there's probably not one viewer out there that we have today that's transgender or has a transgendered person in their family.
yeah, I understand, but
So
there are.
Turn the page, please.
But the Congress doesn't turn the page. Like Ayanna Pressley, we all know who Ayanna Pressley is, right?
Cliff, you need Lori Trahan, lazy bugger that she is, fix immigration. Never mind these transgender people. It's 1/100th of a percent. How much of the population is affected by the crappy immigration system that we have? Fix that, big shot. Instead of the less than 1/100th of a percent of people that she's chasing those, she's nuts. You put that well, John. Thank you.
Well, John, the reason why immigration they don't want to fix is because that affects them directly quicker. There's a larger population there to vote, and it's all about power. Again, you look at everything. It's always about power. even this new Democratic Socialists of America, it's about power, and they know better. They know better what we should, how we should live, and what we should do and what we shouldn't do. And anybody who's studied history with communism, socialism, it's just not a good ending. And
Again, Mike, I say the lazy bones, Markey, the lazy bones Warren, and the lazy bones Trahan. Fix immigration. It affects many more people than this sex change stuff you're talking about.
But John, they don't care about that. They don't want to fix immigration because it doesn't fit in with their policies and their agenda. So they're not going to fix immigration if it's not going to help them maintain power and control.
The constituents have got to email Elizabeth Warren, Ed Markey, and Lori Trahan of this. Email them your displeasure.
Yeah, I agree. Or people have to change their voting. They have to. The only thing they understand is winning or losing. If they're losing at the polls more, if they're losing, in the races, then they readjust. Now, the new Democratic Socialist America, I don't think they care. They won't change. They're on a mission that they know what's right, and they're going to let you know that. This is how things should be. And that's the scary part, because that's what's happened, in these other countries, that when they had communism, socialism.
Hey, Mike, now you're down in Florida. I get it. With a keen interest, I'm watching this guy. I think his name is Dan Cohen. I like Dan Cohen. A nice guy, but he thinks he's running against President Trump. When he has his ads, he's running for Congress someplace. And he thinks he's running against Trump. Is that verbalized down in Florida to your Democratic congressional candidates, Mike? Have you heard that in Florida?
No. Now, where is this? What state is this person running? Just so I know.
He's Massachusetts.
Okay, so in a Democratic state like Massachusetts, they can't run on their own policies that they're going to implement that people want. So they use Trump as their foil to help them, because a lot of people, even though they may agree with some of the stuff that Trump is doing, they don't like Trump personally. A lot of women, I'm telling you, down here in Florida, same thing. A lot of women just don't like Trump. So it doesn't matter what he does. So somebody that's running in Massachusetts, they can use that, because if they had to run on the policies they wanted to implement, that would not go as well for them. So in Florida, there's Democrats down here, but it's more overwhelming the Republican Party. They run on policy. This is like the fourth year in a row that DeSantis has lowered the budget in Florida. He's not increasing the spending like the federal government. He's decreasing the spending. So it's those are policies people understand.
Well, I just hate to see Dan Coe wasting his money thinking that you're going to convince the average voter in Massachusetts to vote for you because you're going to get rid of Trump. There's like over 200 Congress people. Well, Cliff will tell me exactly how many in a second. There's a couple hundred. What makes you think you're just one person, less than 1%? So back over to Cliff, thanks.
Well, I'm going to add into that before we get back to Cliff. People are lazy. They don't spend the time. I mean, I spend more time, because I'm retired. I have more time to research stuff. But people are busy in their lives, and Trump is a unique anomaly in politics. He really is. And either you like him or you don't like him. That's kind of what it's like. When you looked at presidents like Obama, Clinton, Bush, I won't use Biden because that's another thing. People, they weren't as polarizing as Trump can be.
No, I think you have to use Biden, Mike, because the Democrats covered it up. And they still say Biden was the best guy for the job.
No, the reason I said that is because I'm looking at people that actually knew what they were doing and were knew what day it was. Biden is kind of unique too, but history has shown that Reagan, the last year and a half, his wife was managing a lot of stuff, and they covered that up. So the Republicans aren't innocent of everything either. But but Trump is very unique. He's not a politician. He'll tell you what he's thinking. I mean, he does interviews every day. He's talking to the press every day. He's doing, I don't even know, I couldn't keep up the schedule that he's doing, with everything he does. And, he'll tell people you're a piece of crap right to their face, whether it's a reporter or somebody else. You never would see that coming out of the mouth of Biden or Obama or Bush or any of them, because they're politicians. So, Trump is a complete different anomaly in our, in the presidency and in politics. I don't know if we'll ever see somebody quite like him again.
Okay. I thought I'd follow up to that on, I saw an article today, and I don't know where I got it from, but the Democratic Socialists of America, who are making a big splash these days, one of their influencers is Linda Sarsour, who works for the Council on American Islamic Relations, CARE as it's called. She wants to shred the Declaration of Independence. So, these Democratic Socialists of America have a totally different picture of what the United States should be in my estimation. So, the Democrats could be in real trouble, I think, if a bunch of these DSA...
They got a machine. They got a machine. The Republicans have beautiful horses, fantastic uniforms, beautiful chrome swords. Man, you guys look the best, but you're fighting a tank, and they're going to kill you. They do it every election.
Except in 2024, the tank clanked, right?
We'll see what happens with this congressional thing. You don't think Lori Trahan's going to win by a bazillion votes? You don't think Vanna Howard's going to win by a bazillion votes?
What about all those people coming out of New York City and Colorado and Minnesota, Michigan, I'm sorry, and we had Graham Plattner coming out of Maine for a while. You don't think they were going to cause problems? They don't like Hakeem Jeffries, who's, if the Democrats win the House, who's going to be the Speaker?
Oh, it could be AOC for all we know. They think that everything's wrong with the United States. I mean, to say we're not going to have the Senate anymore because they said the small states have too much power. They got too much power. They don't even understand why things were put into the Constitution. The reason they made the Senate is so all the states did have equal power. So the big states at the time, like Virginia and New York, didn't control everything. So, I mean, they don't understand, the difference. And, if they went to another country and had to deal with some of the stuff there, they might. But they're just, they're on a mission, and they're it's mostly younger people who are frustrated in life for a number of different reasons. And this is what they feel they've got to do, just tear the whole thing down. And be careful what you wish for, young people, because you try to tear the whole system down, you're going to go into that black hole, into that pit along with them, and you're not going to like the result.
I got our
Just not going to like it.
first text of the day. Is a question for the panel. Today is National Lollipop Day. What is your favorite flavor? Starting off with Eileen. What's your favorite flavored lollipop, Eileen? She's not listening to me, so we're going to go.
I'm here. Yes, I'm sorry. Chocolate. I forgot I put it on mute. Chocolate.
Cliff?
Lemon.
Mike?
Orange.
I want cherry Tootsie Roll.
Ooh.
Wait, Tootsie Roll isn't a lollipop.
No.
Here it is.
Yeah, they do. They have lollipops like that with that flavor. Yeah, they do. It's chewy. Well, you can lick the outside, but then it gets, as you get towards the middle, it's more chewy. Yeah.
Very bad for your teeth.
Yeah, you get all kinds of stuff stuck in your teeth for that, John. So.
I'm glad you guys said teeth. It just reminded me we have our dentist appointments later today.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, I start tomorrow is Wednesday. I have to go. I'll give a report hopefully before August. I'm doing my colonoscopy this year, so I'll give you yeah. I've had them before. Details. Yeah. No, I just I'm not going to go through the whole process, but I'm doing one this year. I've done them before. But we'll see how that comes out.
Yeah. How did we get from lollipop to colonoscopy?
We're catering the audience.
Well, she mentioned about the dental appointment, so I said, well, I've got an appointment this week too. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. So. Up in Wisconsin, they had some judge who released an illegal immigrant, and she got brought up on charges for it. Do you think she should have served time, or is she serving the community interest?
Did she get her job back?
Yeah.
If she got her job back, that's terrible. They should have taken her job away and taken her pension. That makes him behave hit him right in the wallet.
Well, the thing is again, you see kids or you see people and people will go to me, I don't understand why they're acting like that. And I just tell them straight out, I said, because they're allowed to. So that judge, there's no reason for that judge to change their behavior.
Correct.
Because there was nothing to affect them to change that behavior. So it's the same thing with kids in that. If you don't have boundaries for them, then they'll just do whatever they want. They have to have boundaries on them. That's why we have laws. Those are boundaries on how people should behave. I mean, New York City or New York, the reason they've got the spikes in crime and having all the problems because there's no results to their actions. You walk down the street and punch somebody in the face and knock them down on the sidewalk. They may arrest you, but 2 hours later you're out at no bail. You're out, and they tell you to appear at court, and you don't bother going, and the police don't have time to track you down. So you continue the behavior because there's nothing immediately that's going to affect you to change it. And same thing with kids. They behave certain ways because they know there's no bad result to their actions.
Yeah. So, shifting over, we have increased war in Iran. We're bombing them. They're bombing local Arab nations, going after ships. Do we have any idea where this is going?
Well, I mean, according to what Trump's saying in interviews, they're saying they're trying to take out all the installations along the strait so it can be open. I'm not a military expert. I'm sure they have a good idea what they want to do and go after. But my real question is, why aren't they going after the Revolutionary Guard barracks and where they are? And just, why aren't they going and blowing those all out? Just go in there and take them all out. I mean, they can't fire and do stuff if you take out the Revolutionary Guard. They know where their leaders are, and I think recently one of them they did take out. So, you have to make it so painful that they want to stop. And right now, it's not painful enough.
Well, Mike, I think it's difficult, and Cliff will probably back me up, I don't know, didn't ask him, that the United States has trouble getting good spying done on Iran.
Well, I'm sure Israel's got a lot of information there, too. They're pretty well embedded. So I'm sure they're getting intel from Israel.
Respectfully, God bless Israel, okay? Any target that kills a Palestinian they're happy. Any Arab that gets killed, they're happy. And that's what the Israeli government is. And so you really can't trust their targets, in my mind.
Well, Israel is providing missiles to Arab nations to defend themselves against the Persians. There is a line there between Arabs and Persians.
What country's the Persians?
Iran.
They're the Persians?
Yeah, they're not Arabs.
They make nice rugs.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, the one thing that's come out of this whole thing is a lot of these other countries in that area, UAE, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, all those different, Oman, they found out, they thought that Iran they could get along with Iran, so to speak, and they're finding out that Iran doesn't care. This regime just wants to keep power. And if they got to go in and blow up Oman or Jordan or a UAE to keep that power, they're going to do it.
Mike,
they don't care.
How much do you think they're afraid of atrocities? Because if they lose the government, the executions that they've had against women is going to be held right up on the stage big time. Their cruelty towards women is going to come out, and it's like Nazis. They're fighting because they don't want to go on trial. They know they're in big trouble. That's my
yeah. Oh yeah, I don't disagree. Though they're like the mafia too. It's So my question is, why aren't we going after more of those people? Soon if you keep wiping out their levels of leadership, you're going to get to a point where they're going to say, hey, we're not going to do this anymore. And putting the blockade, I don't know why we took the blockade out ever. We should have never done that because we were squeezing them financially and militarily. I think, to be quite honest, that Trump made a big mistake going to a ceasefire. He should have just gone in there and just done what he's doing now. I mean, I understand he didn't want people. He's trying diplomatically, but these people have never been honest diplomatically and never kept the agreements they signed. So, I think he's, realized that, and we're going to just keep doing this every day until there's nothing left. And I mean, unfortunately, the Iranian people are going to suffer on this for a while.
Well, it seems to me, and I may be wrong here, but it seems we're negotiating with two different groups in Iran. There's the people that show up at the table representing some sort of civilian government, and they agree to things, and then it gets back to Iran, and the IRGC folks say, no, that's not the way it's going to be, and they go out and engage in some activity that breaks the agreement that had been arrived at the table.
So why they have to go back to the Revolutionary Guard? Because if they're the ones really controlling everything, why aren't they negotiating at the table? They're not negotiating at the table because if they come to negotiations or they come out of their holes, that the U.S. is going to find out where they are and they're going to take them out. So I think it's just a matter of time where you're going to start seeing people taken out more and more once they get all these installations and that taken out. They with the blockade and all the other stuff, they don't have unlimited resources, for missiles and for drones and all that. They don't have that. So they're going to take them out.
Doesn't Kuwait or Saudi Arabia have some kind of Mossad where they have Secret Service people that can go into Iraq and pinpoint where these people are living? Why do they just throttle back and do nothing?
Yeah, I don't know. It's but I mean, it's unfortunately, oil's going back up again. Gas is going to go back up again. But they're going to have to. This can't. The longer this goes on, unfortunately, I think it's going to affect the elections more. So the sooner they try to get this settled, the better. But you got people who don't want to settle. That's part of it. They have an ideology that it's our way and that's it, and they don't care if they die. But if they run out of money and they can't pay people, and they don't have any resources, they can't replenish their armaments, and that's my biggest concern. Is because Russia and China are helping them with stuff. That's my biggest concern. So.
Yeah. It's a problem. The war in Ukraine, I'm a little more optimistic about. Although I don't understand why Zelensky, the president, fired the defense minister, because I thought militarily Ukraine's doing better. They're attacking critical targets in Russia. They've conducted a maritime campaign, taken out bridges, taken out ships, finally going after the tugboats that are needed to clean up the ship problems.
Cliff, I believe in Ukraine we're dealing with a bunch of liars, as we are with the Russians. They're a pack of liars and nobody holds them accountable. Tomorrow City Life, Bobby Hoey's going to be here, Francisco Maldonado's going to be here, Sean McDonough, and Tom Bommel. They're all expected for tomorrow. And Cliff, in the Middle East, where we can't, with Ukraine and Russia, both are untrustworthy. And I'm so happy that Trump finally has an accounting for the weapons we sent there.
Yeah.
I'll just add on one thing so I don't forget before we run out of time. In addition to the other days you were talking about today, since the landing on the moon was today in '69, it's also National Moon Day. So I just thought I'd add that in. So, yep. Yeah, this, unfortunately, war is a messy thing, whether it's in Ukraine or Russia. One thing I got to say about Ukraine, they've revolutionized the way wars are fought with their adapting with drones and all the other stuff they've done. People were counting them out early. They've adapted, and they're making headway. And Putin, he's running out of resources. You still need people for that war, and he's not getting the people. And if you can't get the people, you can't use the weapons and all the other stuff.
He has the mighty North Koreans. He has the mighty North Koreans he's going to use.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, they're using some, but that's not unlimited. Their population is not very big in North Korea.
Mike, when the North Korean forces came, they got slaughtered.
Oh yeah. They're not they weren't well trained at all, and that's what the Ukrainians are very well trained, and they understand what they got to do.
And what's worse, if you don't fight well for North Korea, he kills you when you get home.
Yep. Yeah, it's not good any way around. But the Russians now are having trouble getting people. to replenish the losses that they're getting. And of course, the Ukrainians are now getting deeper into Russia. So, yep.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if President Putin is in a somewhat precarious position if there are agitators wanting to do more, do less. Anyway, get off this present stalemate. Mike, thank you very much for coming in. Eileen, thank you very much for coming in.
And we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
All right. All right. Well, hopefully you're.
42 seconds past it.
Are we still on or no?
We're still on Facebook or on YouTube.
Okay. Well, hopefully everything goes good with the dental appointment. So I will. I just was going to mention that Kathy, we've been going to the doctor. She's going to have shoulder surgery in September. So I'll have to give you guys an update on that.
That's bad.
Yeah, the arthritis and everything. She's got torn rotator cuff, and they just can't do anymore.
Is she going to go to Canada or is she going to get it done in the U.S.?
No, down here. Yeah. No, we got all our insurance covers it. Reverse shoulder surgery. That's what she's getting on her shoulder. So. Yeah, that's in September, so I'll let you know more on how that goes.
Next Monday, let's talk about how long it would take her to get it in Canada versus the U.S.
Okay, I can ask on how long you might have to wait for that. I don't know. I mean, the reason we're not doing it until September, she had a cortisone shot in June, so the surgeon said you got to wait 3 months before they'll do surgery. I mean, we probably could have done it sooner, but we're going on a cruise in August, so you don't want to do it, right away, because then, it's 2 to 3 weeks if her arm's in a sling, and all that recovery. So, I mean, it's by our choice that we're having it in September. We could have had it earlier. I guarantee we could have had it in August, but we chose not to. So that I can tell you, it has nothing to do with having to wait for the surgery. But Canada, I'd have to have her ask some of her friends and see how long you'd have to wait for it.
That'd be an interesting thing. Okey-doke.
All right, have a good day.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you next Monday. All right.
Thank you.
Yep, bye.